Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Happy Wednesday. Today is April the 2nd, 2025, and we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you would be so kind, I want you to hit the like button, hit the share button, and be sure to tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know that your boy, Ramon Preston, my squad, we are all live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. And you, my friend, you are watching the Ramon Preston Show. And just in case you don't know, I want you to know, my name is Ramon Preston. I am the host of the Ramon Preston Show. And every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, just like this beautiful Wednesday, my team and I, the squad, we show up here live to share information with you, to really give you the game about money, business, entrepreneurship, investing, wealth building, all the things that we do. We even talk about the Bible, we talk about God, we talk about the church, we talk about life, relationships, because all of those things make us who we are. So I want to say thank you for joining the show today. This week, we have been talking about creative revenue strategies. Creative revenue strategies. Now, I want you to keep in mind, creative revenue strategies are not just some things that you can implement and execute if you have a business. Creative revenue strategies work for W-2 employees, 1099 contractors, pastors, ministers, people who are in the nonprofit space. Creative revenue strategies work for everyone across the board. How you know that, Ramon? Here's how I know it. Because everybody needs money. Everybody needs income. Everybody needs revenue. And in order for you to make more money, generate more revenue, increase your income, you got to have some type of strategy. See, I'm going to go ahead and get biblical on you, because in the book of Ecclesiastes, the Bible does say, chapter 7, around verse 11, that wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. So if you read that verse, Ecclesiastes 7 and 11, you find out that wisdom is a defense, money is a defense. The writer equates wisdom with money. He equates wisdom with money. Wisdom, defense, money, defense. He equates both of them. Why? Because when you ain't got no wisdom, most likely you ain't got no money. And if you ain't got no money, it's probably because you ain't got no wisdom. When you get wisdom, you get money. That's just how it works. And so creative revenue strategies are defined as plans that you put in place to highlight how you are going to increase your income. Creative revenue strategies are plans that you put in place to highlight how you're going to generate more revenue. Now, of course, if you are a business owner, whether you're a solopreneur, whether you have a small team, or whether you have a massive operation going, at some point you got to sit down and you have to put some creative revenue strategies together. That means you got to look at what can you do to increase income. What are some things that you can implement and execute? What are some new vehicles and mechanisms you can start putting in place to increase your income, generate more revenue, and expand your overall profits? So up to this point, with this conversation we've been having for the past couple of shows, I shared with you the first 5 of 15 creative revenue strategies, okay? So for the next couple of days, I'll be sharing the final 10 revenue strategies. So let me just give you a quick reminder. All right, we've got 15 creative revenue strategies that we're going to be sharing this week. And so far, I've shared with you 5 creative revenue strategies, things that you can do as a solopreneur, as a small business owner? Number one, you can maximize your current profits. Maximize. Make the most of the money you're making right now. I do this so much with people. I was just on a coaching call with someone talking about maximizing current income, and they were wowed. They were blown away at how you can just make one decision and change and tweak one thing and how it increases your revenue. Number two, you can reach out to former customers. So if someone has ever bought a product or someone has ever paid you for a service, they are considered a former customer or a former client. That is a creative revenue strategy, to reach back out to them to see what more can you do so that you can continue business with them. Number three, you can double down on existing customers. One of the things that my team and we do, among many things, is we gonna always double down on existing customers. If you bought something from me yesterday, I'm gonna come back today or tomorrow or the next day to see if there's something else you can buy. What other value can I provide? Number four, you can increase your average deal size. You can literally increase your average deal size. Now, it may require some extra value that you are adding to your offer, but you can actually do it. And number five, you can add new products and services, which for the most part seems to be easy. All right, so let's get into the second set of creative revenue strategies, which would be number 6 through 10. And again, if you missed the first 5, you can always go back to one of our lives, which sits on YouTube, absolutely free. And you can watch the lesson and get all of the first 5. So today we want to do 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then not tomorrow, but probably Friday before the week is over, I'll give you the final 5. So I've already given you the first 5 of the 15 creative revenue strategies. So now I want to give you 6 through 10. So number 6 is you can expand, that's the key word, expand into new markets. You can expand into new markets or new verticals within the market that you're already in. I'm going to just write the 5 down and then I'll circle back around and talk about them, okay? Number 7, you can dial in on your top revenue drivers. I'll explain this in a minute. So if you're taking notes, you could just maybe screenshot this or write it while I'm talking. Okay, number 8, you can implement a partner sales model. This is a powerful model that a lot of small business owners don't implement. Number 9, you can start an aggressive customer segmentation. And then number 10, you can conduct a massive brand repositioning. Now, again, if you're listening to me and you feel like what I'm talking about is way over your head, if you're listening to me and you feel like what I'm sharing with you is boring and it doesn't make sense, all you're saying to me and to yourself is that you're not interested in making money. You're not interested in making money. If you own a business, I want you to understand that you're the CEO of that business, and you should be focusing on creative revenue strategies every day. You shouldn't be focusing on everything else except revenue strategies. I know most entrepreneurs that I talk to on a regular basis, they think about everything else except revenue. They're thinking about their website. They're thinking about their logo. They're thinking about their trademarks. I mean, oh my God, the things that I hear from entrepreneurs. They're in transition. They're waiting for this. They're waiting for that. They're waiting for this person. They're waiting for that person. And I'm trying to think to myself, like, when are you going to start focusing on money? When are you going to start focusing on revenue? So I don't want this to be boring to you. I don't want this to be uninteresting to you. I want you to look at creative revenue strategies as the lifeblood of your business. Because I can promise you this, and this is a strong promise. If you are an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, if you are a business owner or want to be a legitimate business owner, even if you just want to be an investor, if you focus your attention more on the money, not on the other stuff, on how can I make more money, guess what's going to happen? You're going to become more creative. You're going to have more ideas just by the fact that you are focusing your attention on more money. So for the purpose of today's show, let me reset the room and explain that we are talking about 15 creative revenue strategies. I've already shared with you the first 5. On the screen behind me right here, while I sit down, you will see 6 through 10. This is the second 5 creative strategies that you can implement. Number 6, you can expand into new markets or new verticals. So what do I mean by expanding into new markets or new verticals? Well, you can expand your business into a new market. It could literally be a new demographic you go to. Like, for example, I was on a call today with a entrepreneur, and in the conversation we were talking about how they offered certain products to men and women, thinking that it might be a better fit for women because the entrepreneur is a woman, and come to find out, she got more responses from men than she did women. So that could be a form of expansion into a new market where you didn't even think men were going to respond like you thought women would respond. So you can expand into a new market. Maybe a new market is not just a demographic. Maybe the market is geographic. Okay, so you could be in a city doing business and not be able to penetrate enough in that market to grow your business. But you can move into another market, another geographic location, and actually get more business. Sometimes you could be a brick and mortar in a physical geographical location, and maybe your new market is a virtual market. Maybe you need to go digital. Maybe you need to go virtual. Maybe you don't need to have a physical building, a brick and mortar. Maybe you need a virtual digital building. Maybe you need to occupy space on the internet. That would be a version of expanding into a new market. So how do you expand into a new vertical? Well, I do that all the time. I do that all the time in my business, because even though the core of my business is education, consulting, investing, there's so many verticals within the educational space. There's so many verticals within the consulting space. There's so many verticals within the investment space that I'm always moving and expanding into new verticals. Okay? Matter of fact, the call that I had earlier with this entrepreneur was a result of me and my team expanding into a new vertical with a new offer. We're the same business. They're on the same email list, but we expanded into a new vertical with the same demographic of people, many of whom are in the same geographic location, but we presented a new offer that represents a new vertical. Are y'all understanding me? Hopefully you are. So that's how you can create new revenue by expanding into a new market. That could be demographic, it could be geographic, and guess what? It can also be economic. It could be an economic market that's new. It could be a different set of economic customers and clients that you target in the same geographic location with the same demographic of people. So I want you to see that. You could be dealing with the same person, but they don't want to purchase a certain product or pay for a certain service because of the price. The price, and it ain't always because the price is too high. Sometimes the price is too low. Sometimes people want to pay more because they believe that paying more is more. So hopefully you can understand how powerful this sixth strategy is. You can expand it to new markets or verticals. You can dial in, number 7, you can dial in on your top revenue drivers. So what do I mean dial in? Well, if you sell products or you offer a certain set of services, if you got one specific product or one specific service that does better than the other ones, maybe you just need to dial in on that thing. You need to just focus in on that and sell as many of that as you can and get off of the other things that ain't making no money. Okay? If you walk into a supermarket, sometimes you'll see certain items out front in a supermarket, right? You walk in the supermarket and they got certain displays. But if those products or items ain't selling, they're not going to leave them there. They're going to move them and put something that needs to be moved. And they don't mind rotating. So sometimes you got to tweak your product offering. Sometimes you got to tweak your service offering and create different versions or variations of it. And if that means you just dial in on the thing that works, then just dial in on it. This is one reason why we oftentimes, as a company here, expand into new markets and new verticals, because we often realize that we have a specific revenue driver. We tap into something that works and we go with it, okay? And because it's working, we go with it. We're like, wait a minute, we need to stick with this. And the moment it changes, we change. All right. So number 7, you can dial in on your top revenue drivers. What are the things that make the most money? You need to dial in on those things. Okay. Number 8, you can implement a partner sales model. You can implement a partner sales model. So what exactly is a partner sales model? There are different versions of a partner sales model. One version of a partner sales model can be you partner with other businesses that offer something that you need to add to what you are offering. And instead of you not making money by not offering certain things, you partner with another company. You can actually partner with the customer or the client to some extent. That's a version of a partner sales model. All right. I would love to get some feedback from y'all, because I know some of these things might sound a little bit like, you know, they're high level, but they're not as high level as they may sound once you get used to it. Okay. So I would love to get some feedback. If you have any questions, I want you to put it in the comments and let me know. Okay. So again, number 8, you can implement a partner sales model. So again, that's 2 ways. A partner sales model is, okay, I want to partner with people, other business owners who could add to the value that I want to provide to a customer or to a client. A partner sales model can also be on the other end with the client and customer, that there could be some type of partnership with them. It works the same way. This could easily be a version of affiliate marketing, referral-based marketing and sales, where someone wants to buy a product from you, someone wants to pay for a service, and you intentionally offer a partnership opportunity with them if they're willing to bring new people into your business. All right? This happens all the time. Referrals, finder's fees, affiliations, kickbacks, customer client kickbacks. It's something that works all the time. And again, on the B2B end, if you got other businesses that could provide or services or offer products to add to what you are actually providing, that is another form. You can really do it on both ends. Okay? Shout out to Mike Keaton, bro man. He said he's watching. He's in the house. Good to have you. Okay? So number 8 behind me. Number 8. The 8th creative revenue strategy is where we at? 8? No, we're at 9. Number 9, you can start an aggressive customer segmentation. Okay? So a customer segmentation is just a creative way of saying you're going to like dissect and segment your customer base. Okay? It could be all men, all women, young men, young women, black men, black women, white men, white women, young black men who make a certain amount of money, young black women that make, you just segment it. Older people who live in this specific area. What I'm talking about right now in terms of customer segmentation, all of the platforms that we are on, social media, they all do it. You could literally run an ad to single mothers or single fathers or middle-aged mixed men like myself who biracial. You could do anything you want to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's your business becomes your own playground. So you can actually start an aggressive customer segmentation and dial in on the dominant buying motive that this particular segment of society has. Matthew says, I'm starting a new service providing today. How to map out add-ons to ensure they win, but it's outside the service, i.e. social management, music, commercial music, ads. I don't know if you were asking a question, but whatever you're doing, it sounds creative. You say you're starting a new service, mapping out, adding on to ensure they win, but it's outside the service. Very aggressive customer segmentation planning right now. That's good, Matthew. Thank you for sharing that. It's very important to do that. Like, when it comes to generating revenue, I want you all to remember, generating the revenue is tied to your marketing. So when you start doing what number 9 says, starting an aggressive customer segmentation for your marketing, you can start dissecting it. I do it even with my marketing, and we've started doing it even more. So for example, if I've got someone on my general email list and they respond to a certain email about a certain product that we offer or a certain service we provide, their interest in that product or service automatically segments them. So now they're not just getting general emails, but they're going to get specific emails from my marketing based on a certain product and service that they showed interest in. So that's a form of customer segmenting. Matthew said, yes, I'm asking how to add add-ons, but it's outside the service, like Ghostwriter, but they need more to ensure winning. I think I'm understanding your question. How do you add add-ons to your service when the add-on is outside of your service? Well, if the add-on is outside of your service and it's something someone else offers, number one, you need to build relationships with the people who offer the service that you want to add on as a service. So you want to build relationships with those service providers. Okay, that's number one. So on the service provider end, I want to build a database. I want to build a list. I want to build relationships with people who could potentially provide the service that I'm going to offer as an add-on to my client. All right. So my pitch to them is going to be, I need you to work with me so that I can send my clients to you and so that they can get this service when I offer them my other service. So that's a relationship you got to build with the service provider. With the client or the potential client, I've got to position myself as the go-to person for them to understand that even if my service is not the main service you need, I have the best relationships with the service providers who can offer you the other service. That could always be one angle that you take. Sometimes the business that offers the main service and the add-on from someone else, sometimes they just offer all of it as one and they become the mediator without even involving the other person up front. Like, for example, when you have a bank account with your bank, you can set up a merchant account through your bank. Okay, and your merchant account is not really with the bank, it's probably with a third party. So the third party is actually providing the machine you're going to use to process the payments for your merchant account. The third party is going to provide the actual merchant service, but your bank was the go-to person that you had the initial relationship with. And they offer it as a bundle. So you can always offer that and you just build the cost of what it's going to be for that third party into what your offer is. That's always the best way. Matthew said, partnering is a great idea because it's a mindset shift I'm having from doing this in-house to now offering it to the public without overwhelming myself because I can give myself so much, but not all. I totally agree, Matthew. I totally agree. Most of the successful companies today that offer multiple services and even multiple products, they are actually using other companies to do that. I mean, when you go to Walmart, when you go to Kroger, when you go to Publix, when you go to Aldi's, when you go to supermarkets, when you go to Macy's and Bloomingdale's, a lot of their products are not their products. A lot of their services are not their services. They're just the liaison. the medium, the go-between for you as a customer and for the company that's providing the service, whether it's payment services at the cashier's desk, whether it's some other product. It's always the middleman. But they build the brand to be the place that you come to in order to get that actual product or to buy that actual service. And so it always works, and it can work for us too. So the creative revenue strategy number 10, you can conduct a massive brand repositioning. A brand repositioning. I've done that so many times. I've repositioned my brand many times, okay? And I'm not afraid to reposition the repositioning of the repositioned brand. It doesn't matter. If there's a new mechanism that works for my marketing, if there's a new representation that resonates with my brand, I will go in that direction. Now, I'm not going to be flip-flopping, but I have to be open to conducting a massive brand repositioning. Sometimes you just got to reposition yourself. You got to reset yourself. You got to represent your brand in a new way, in a different way. It's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's good for you. It's good for the marketplace. It's good for the few people that might already be doing business with you. Okay? So I've had to do that. I mean, for years, people just saw me as a pastor. Okay, people knew me more as a pastor than they did an entrepreneur for years. Even though I was an entrepreneur, people just saw me as a pastor, a prophet, a preacher. They just saw me as the person who could preach, pray, prophesy, lay hands, teach some Bible studies or some church seminars and stuff for ministry. They didn't see me as the guy to call if they wanted to talk about money or business or entrepreneurship. So what did I have to do? I had to conduct a massive brand repositioning. I had to reposition myself not just as a church preacher, as a prophet. I had to reposition myself as a legitimate business owner. And then once I started repositioning myself as a business owner, I had to convince people that I was a consultant and that I knew enough about money and business and investing for people to listen to me. And then I repositioned myself as a coach, and now I'm an educator, and I'm a coach, and I'm a legitimate entrepreneur and business owner. And then I repositioned myself as an investment, as an investor in real estate. And then I had to reposition myself as a private equity firm CEO. These are all brand repositionings, okay? And so even now in our company, in our firm, we are undergoing somewhat of a brand repositioning because we want people to be aware of the fact that we are a legitimate private equity firm. We understand investments. We understand deal making. We can provide high-level, sophisticated advisory services for finances, for business, for investments, which is what you see here with RP Capital. Why do I have that behind me? Because it's a part of a brand repositioning for people to be aware of and become more acquainted with and familiar with this business that we operate in. So that's a part of repositioning. So hopefully you all learned something. It's 12:35. I've got to end this live, bars, but we will be back with the final 5. I've already shared with you 10 of the 15 creative revenue strategies. So please be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat as well. If we don't see them during the live, we'll always circle back around and do our best to answer them. Inside of the description of the video, there's a link. You could click that link. We are offering to our community a complimentary advisory session That means you can click that link, complete that advisory assessment form, submit it, and my team and I will reach back out to you and take a few minutes to conduct an advisory assessment for your finances, your business, and your investments to help you create a roadmap for what needs to be done to get you to that next level financially, to get you to that next level professionally or in your business, to get you to that next level in your investments. All you have to do is click the link in the description, complete the form, submit it, and we'll be reaching back out to you. Otherwise, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining the Ramon Preston Show, and we will be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon. I love you.